I think certainly for, community leaders, once again, it's all about developing that culture of safety and security, not being reactive, not overreacting, but taking measured and, consistent approaches to safety and security, whether that's in your schools, in your city buildings, in your community, to really devote some time, devote some resources towards safety and security and preparation. And hopefully you never have an incident, but I can tell you that, preparation is often not comforting, but it's preparation isn't comfortable, but it's comforting. So, taking some steps to prepare is often, will allow you to at least have some peace of mind that you've done everything you can do. If something should happen, you'll be prepared to respond. Yeah, I think safety, security, preparation is cultural. So, and culture usually comes from leadership, right? So if the leaders aren't preparing, if the leaders aren't carrying their access control card, if they're not wearing their ID, they're not, following safety procedures, then that sets a bad example for everybody else in the organization. So I think, having leaders who have a culture of safety, who take it seriously, who want to prevent things from happening, generally filters down to the lower levels because people want to follow, what the leader is doing. So we see that in both, in both extremes. People that are really prepared generally have leaders that focus on preparation and the importance of that. Organizations that aren't prepared generally have leaders that don't take that as a serious issue, so their employees follow suit. So focusing some resources on prevention just makes sense. If you think about cost benefit, right? So the benefits of taking some preventative measures beforehand will definitely save you if something does happen. So just from a pure financial perspective, right, it makes sense to prepare. But from a human perspective, it definitely makes sense to prepare. When we know the types of emergencies that can occur, it's really irresponsible to not take some resources to prepare for those types of emergencies. So when we see organizations that get in trouble or have issues, it's generally because they ignored their opportunity to prepare, and now they're facing the cost of either having to go back and fix things, or even worse, maybe human cost and obviously any litigation that they might experience. So just taking some efforts beforehand makes a lot of sense. Communicating why we're doing things, right? Why is this important? Why is it important to maintain access control? Why are these things that I'm being asked to do so important? People want to know why. People may not agree with it, but if they know why, they're more likely to comply. So I think it's important to communicate the reasoning behind what you're doing, because there certainly is a reason, but oftentimes we don't communicate the reason and we just expect people to know it. But I think it's important to always explain, why are we doing this? Why is this important? And once again, if that comes from the leadership, that's far more impactful, that they can make those statements to them.